Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video here on iStarly TV. So this is my first ranked video with the new set. I know I made a couple of videos right when the set came out, but this is my first time actually showing off a deck that I built. And this is actually the deck, I think I featured this exact deck in my 3 new decks video, so if you want to check out a little bit more detail about that there. But the thought process for this deck is to use Tsareena, which actually looks like a pretty strong card. I've been testing this deck a little bit, and it's been really powerful, and there are some situations that feel wrong, but I think that's what the meta we're in right now, especially with the new rare candy item, which of course we are playing in this deck. So Tsareena is a stage 2, she's got 130 HP, and she has a move 3 kick combo. So for one single energy, she can do up to 150 damage. It depends on coin flips though. So you flip 3 coins and any heads do 50 damage. So that's not reliable, but given that you can evolve her pretty early with rare candy and she only needs 1 energy to attack, it can actually end up being pretty easy to get off some good damage decently early in the game. And Grass, and specifically Tsareena, now have some pretty insane supporters and tools. So in addition to rare candy, and we also have potion in the deck, we have the new Leaf Cape, which can add 30 HP to your Grass Pokemon. So that can put Tsareena at 160, which is kind of a magic number given that there are some attacks that do up to 150 damage. Of course, against fire Pokemon or against well, Charizard EX in general, you know, that's going to be a problem, but against anything that's not those Pokemon, you can survive most hits. And then there's also the new Mallow supporter, which works specifically with Tsareena. It heals all damage from Tsareena, and you have to discard all energy attached to Tsareena, but given that Tsareena only needs 1 energy to attack, you can simply just use this on Tsareena, heal all of her damage, and then just put an energy right back on and start attacking again. So I've had situations where I heal 150 damage from Tsareena, and that just kind of feels unfair sometimes. And Tsareena just never dies. It's pretty insane. I also have 1 copy of Erica because, of course, once again, it heals our Pokemon. It also heals, which I haven't mentioned yet, but Executor EX, which I'm also playing. So just so many ways to heal our Pokemon that already have really high HP stats. The one downside to this deck is again, it's not reliable. They might not do the damage you want in certain situations. It's going to be reliant on coin flips, but I figured that is offset by the fact that they have extremely high HP stats, they can be healed for a ton of damage, and they only require 1 energy to attack. So you're not taking a long time to set up. In fact, sometimes you're taking no time at all to set up. Another option for Tsareena is you definitely want to play her with grass Pokemon, obviously. I guess you technically don't have to. I guess you could play her with something like Magnezone, right? Maybe I'll try that. I actually want to try that now because the thing with Tsareena is, again, you only need 1 energy to attack, so basically you could start setting up anything on your bench. So that's where Executor maybe doesn't pair great with Tsareena because Executor also only needs 1 energy to attack. So maybe there's a world where you could play a Tsareena deck with another non-EX Pokemon, just so you have no EXs in your deck, which makes cards like Oricorio, Red, and Meowscarada, for example, a lot worse. But either way, let's try the deck out. Let's see how long Tsareena can survive for, and yeah, let's get to some games. Alright, we've got our first opponent here. Of course, the ranked season has reset. I haven't played too much. I actually moved recently, so I've been super busy these past few days. So I haven't played too much ranked. I have played a little bit, though, but I did not end up hitting Master Ball last season, which I was fine with. So I reset back in, like, Great Ball 4, I think it was. So, yeah. Oh, wow, okay. I think we're up against our absolute worst matchup. We have to get really lucky here, but we'll see who gets lucky. My opponent might get lucky first, and we might just be cooked already. But we do have the setup. We can evolve Bounsweet ASAP and then just start spamming some damage. Of course, as you saw, I did also open the, the Full Art Tsareena. And hey, if we can find Execute, then we can kind of, get some good setup going. Okay, unfortunately not. I guess if we find a second Tsareena, we can also evolve her. But yeah, we cannot use Rare Candy just yet, unfortunately. And of course that means that my opponent is going to do a lot of damage to us. Unfortunately, if they have like a Giovanni, they can actually knock out Bounsweet. But I guess if they do that, that's not the end of the world because we have a second one as backup. So we could still potentially knock out their Charmander, but as soon as they get Charizard going, it's GG, bro. And then they get Torracat there, so they also could get Incineroar going. Point is, we're probably cooked here. We draw another Executor. Oh, wait. So, yeah, Rare Candy. Dude, Rare Candy is so good. It just completely changes the game in such a massive way. I think I'll put it on this. If we ever need to retreat, we can just put that second energy on it anyway. And any one heads will knock it out here, which we do get. We have a high chance of getting at least one heads, so that's pretty good. Even if Tsareena was like 1 energy for 50 damage, that's like not terrible. I mean, for a stage 2, that is terrible, but you know, we can make that work. If they have Incineroar here, we are in a lot of trouble. If they don't, of course. That's some great art, by the way. That's some really good art. So we're dead. I guess we're not exactly dead. The thing is, even if we get extremely lucky here and we get 3 heads, we still do not knock them out. Okay. So we're dead on the oh. Okay. Well, we get to see the power of Mallow. You get to heal 110 damage. Of course, we are still burned, so that's unfortunate, but we might be able to live to see another day. Let's see how lucky we get here. 1. Oh, okay, 2. Hey, that's fine. If we get 2 heads next turn, we kill them. And I don't think we die here, because they don't have enough energy to do their big attack. I was going to say, oh, we're no longer burned, but of course they're about to just burn us again, so... You know what, everyone? We could win this game. This is happening. If they have Charizard, I guess... Like, Rare Candy Charizard, or... I don't know. Tsareena. That does not do anything. That's actually bad. That's actually really bad, right? Because then they knock out Bounsweet, but then... we just... that means our Tsareena is not burned. Which I guess it doesn't matter, because this was probably going to be the last turn of the battle anyway. Unless I got lucky with, like, a Mallow again. Potion, okay. Unfortunately, we're just not drawing Execute, but hey, let's see if we can do it, everyone. I'm kind of scared here. Come on, Tsareena. 1. Oh my god, there it is. We got all 3 heads, and we just knocked out... This is actually the Incineroar Charizard deck is kind of like one of the best decks right now. I've seen a lot of people talk about it online. Apparently, it won a tournament or something, and it's really powerful. Solgaleo EX is another one that's extremely powerful right now, but apparently Tsareena can just kick right through them. So, hey, we'll take the W there. That was amazing, and that really shows that... I mean, you know, I was saying we needed a lot of luck to win this fight, but we didn't even really get super lucky. We got kind of lucky, but... I think it was like an average amount of luck, but either way, GG's. And here's our next opponent. They've got the shiny Charizard icon. Hopefully that does not mean they're playing the shiny Charizard deck, or Charizard deck in general. I did build the shiny or I keep calling it shiny Charizard. The Charizard Incineroar deck, I did build it because I have all of the cards. I actually opened 2 shiny Charizard EXs from the last set. And I was like, the original Charizard's just better, so what am I going to do with these? And then it turns out with Rare Candy, I actually think the Shining Revelry Charizard's better, but we're up against Meowscarada. We definitely want Tsareena for this matchup because Meowscarada does a lot less damage if it's not an EX. But we're going to start getting some damage going here, and we have, like, a lot of the cards we need. We have the Rare Candy, we have Professor's Research, so we might draw into Tsareena here. And again, the fact that our Pokemon needs so little energy to attack is just so huge. I guess I'll put Execute on the bench. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference, but we'll just do that. And then next turn, if we draw into Tsareena, we can just go Retreat Execute and then evolve Tsareena. And then get really far ahead. I was going to say possibly win, but we'll see how it goes. And I mean, even if we don't draw Tsareena, it's possible we can knock out Sprigatito this next turn. before they can start setting up Meowscarada. Now, of course, if they have a bench Sprigatito... Oh, duh, they could just go right for Meowscarada, of course. Alright. Of course, they cannot attack right now, but they have a lot more HP to work with. But if we can get lucky with Tsareena, we can potentially knock them out. So if we draw Tsareena here, I'm definitely going to switch into her. There's Bounsweet. Alright, we got a couple looks here for Tsareena. Nice, they're beautiful. I was going to say, even if we drew a Cape, that would also be pretty nice, because we could just evolve Executor. But let's evolve, let's retreat. I guess I will evolve one of the Executes just to have it. And then I'll just play a second Bounsweet just to make us extra Sabrina-proof. We're already pretty Sabrina-proof. And we can win the game here if we get extremely lucky. Oh god, this Tsareena, dude. Okay, we'll take what we can get. One heads is fine. Especially for, like, kind of how far ahead we are in the game right now anyway. And if we ever draw, like, a Cape or even, like, a Mallow... Like, again, Meowscarada is going to have a tough time... Okay, that's kind of annoying. But Meowscarada is going to have kind of a tough time taking down Tsareena. Because Meowscarada's attacks are only going to be doing 60. That's annoying, but... You know, we have some of that ourselves. The poison is going to really hurt. Another Executor. That's fine, honestly. I guess the problem with that is... Okay, let's just do this. The problem with that is that Executor has such a high retreat cost, so if we ever need to, like, swap our Executors to prevent them from dying, but... Once again, we could end the game this turn. 1. Okay. I start counting and then I get unlucky. That's fine. They're probably going to heal again too. They are slowly chipping away at Tsareena, but of course, once again, we have so much healing in our deck and so much staying power. This, you know, could still work in our favor. And all we need, because Meowscarada put on the Poison Barb and did not put on a Cape, all we need is to get extremely lucky and get 3 heads, and the game is over no matter what they do. All right, well now we only need 2 heads. Mallow would be very nice here. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, Mallow is insane with Tsareena. Both of the Shiinotic cards are not very good, but Tsareena is good. Like, Tsareena is a reason to run Mallow. Or Mallow is a reason to run Tsareena, I guess. Whatever. Alright, let's see how we do here. Okay. Ah, so close. See, and you can see where this is the big downside of the deck is, again, pretty much all of your attacks are reliant on coin flips. So obviously you could see where that could be a problem. But it's really fun. Like, it's really fun. It's like playing Misty, right? It's exhilarating. When you get all the heads that you want, it feels amazing and it feels broken, and then sometimes you just get tails, 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 which is fair. That's how the card is balanced. And as long as they don't have more healing on Meow, okay. So now what I can do is I can retreat into Egg to knock out Meow. I think I'll do that just to preserve Tsareena? Maybe that's wrong, but this also guarantees we knock them out. Because if we stayed in with Tsareena, of course, you know, our luck has been okay so far. Of course, if we get 3 tails with Tsareena, we don't knock out Meow, and they actually end up knocking us out. So I guess I could have probably potioned the Tsareena as well. Oh, I guess the big downside here is that we also get our Executor poisoned, which is pretty annoying. But if they don't have another candy into Meow, I mean, that's the other thing I should have thought about, is if they do have candy into Meow, that's really bad for us here. Helmet, okay. That's pretty annoying too. Because if they have Meow, now we're just basically dead. Okay, they don't. So they hit us for 40. Wow, okay, 60, sure. We really need another Mallow now. Or a Leaf Cape. Another Tsareena, okay. Okay, let's think this through. So we're gonna hit them for some damage. We're gonna go down to 70 with the poison, and then 50 with the helmet. We're probably dead. If they have Meowscarada, we're definitely dead. So I guess I'll use 1 potion, because I think that keeps us alive If they do not have Meowscarada, it keeps us alive, barely. And I don't think we're ever retreating our Exeggutor at this point, so we'll just go ahead and put it on the backup one. And then just swing. Nice, okay. That's really good, because the best that they could have is... Erica again, which would put them up to 60, which would still be in knockout range of a heads or two. They do have it, that's fine. Yeah, if I had double potion, we still would have died to the Meowscarada, so I kind of like that we did it this way. Now we really want to see a Leaf Cape, I think, because, So Exeggutor has a 50-50 chance. I think both Exeggutor and Tsareena, if I'm doing the math correctly, both have a 50-50 chance to knock out Meowscarada. Because Exeggutor just needs one heads to knock it out. With Tsareena, we basically have, I think of all of the possible outcomes of Tsarena's coin flips, 2 of the 4 outcomes, I think, do at least 100 damage. If I'm doing my math correctly. So like I said, either way, we have a 50-50 chance. But I'm really hoping we hit that cape. I guess that's the big downside. Okay, that's something as well, but... I think Leaf Cape would have guaranteed we win. But, yeah, it's about coin flips here. Let's see how this goes. Ah, okay. My luck ran out. That's fine. We could lose this turn. We could lose. If they don't have red, I think it's got to be red, then we win the game. But if they do have red, we're dead. That rhymed. Or Cyrus. That also does it. Ah, you know what? Oh, that was so stupid of me. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. If I would have been smarter, I could have won this game. Yeah, that was actually a big mistake on my part. I should have put the potion on the Tsareena. I was not thinking about that. I'm sure you were probably screaming at your screen. Yeah, so I lost that game on accident. Like, I should have won that game. But that was a huge mistake. I was not even thinking about that. I should have. And Cyrus did cross my mind, but I just didn't really... I was thinking of too many other things. So I didn't put that together like, oh, if they have Cyrus, then I'm going to need Tsareena to be healthier. So... yeah, I had literally the card in hand that would win me that game. But hey, I mean, you know, it did come down to a lot of coin flips. I mean, that was a mistake on my part, and it's unfortunate to lose that way. But there were also situations there where if my opponent drew a little better, they could have easily won despite my mistake. Or even if I got a little lucky with the coin flips, I still could have won without, or despite that mistake. So, of course, you know, I do apologize for that mistake. It's probably pretty glaring to all of you, but... yeah, I should have won that game and I didn't. So, hey, you got to learn your lessons somehow, right? GG's. Alright, so even though that loss was pretty painful because it was my mistake, this deck felt good. And when this deck goes well, when it works, it feels really, really strong. Mallow with Tsareena, it sometimes just feels, like I said, it feels broken. Like I said, I literally had a game where I healed 150 damage because I had a cape on it. So it was at 160 HP, and I healed 150 damage from Tsareena. And I mean, at that point, what do you do? If you're not playing a fire deck, it feels like you're just doing whatever you can to chip away at her, and sometimes she just heals everything. So I think that's the balance of Tsareena. Her attack only relies on coin flips, but she has such high HP, and there's so many healing options available in grass that, I mean, that's a good deck right there. I like it a lot, and Tsareena's a cool Pokemon. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon TCG Pocket videos. The meta feels extremely open right now. It feels like there are so many cards. Like, yeah, there's obvious powerful front runners like Incineroar, Solgaleo, Lunala's okay, you know, stuff like that. But it feels like there's like Pokemon like Tsareena that are really strong too, and there's just so many options. I really love this meta. I mean, the whole rare candy thing, I'm still not sure how I feel about it because it really speeds up the games, but I'm having fun so far. So let me know what decks you've been playing. Let me know how I can improve this deck. I really love Tsareena, so I'm going to try to build more decks with her. But thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.